attention, 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 attention.
We focused on the cotton industry because we thought it's such a perfect example of this story we're telling. Cotton, there's no industry in American history that's more shameful, that's more associated with the worst kinds of jobs, with slavery, with children and very poorly paid women spinning cotton into fiber and turning that into textiles and apparel. But today, cotton is a high-tech industry. This is a bunch of cotton seeds. And cottonseed has become almost like software. Every year, farmers very excitedly open their catalogs to find out what this year's new cotton seed will be. The big companies, Monsanto and Bayer, the aspirin people, they have Bayer Crop Services. They battle every year over who's going to dominate the cottonseed industry. Bayer has been kicking butt for 5 years with their drought-resistant FiberMax line. And dirt. Cotton is still grown in most of the world, in India and China. Kazakhstan's a big producer. Egypt, parts of Africa. It's still grown the way it used to be grown in America, shamefully. It's grown by individual farmers, often taking their kids out of school to work the earth in back-breaking, miserable conditions. But in America, dirt is not just what you plant the cotton in. Every farmer understands their soil. They have 3D maps of their entire field, and they understand, they've used measurements to understand what different parts of their field have different chemical compositions. And then we have jobs, we have chemists, we have entomologists, we have plant physiologists in America studying how to improve that soil, how to kill weeds, how to make crops grow bigger and bigger. When you see a cotton plant, we have, there are engineers working on figuring out how to even more efficiently rip that boll off of the tree and get that boll ready to be processed. And something that's very crucial here is whether you're talking about cottonseed researchers, plant chemistry researchers, cotton manufacturing researchers, the typical team will be someone with a PhD, someone you think of as working in a high-tech, innovative field, but they will be supported by a host of people who are not quite blue collar, but not quite white collar. These are typically the cutoff will be high school plus some technical training. So these will be people maybe with a year of an associate's degree or a technical course who their title might sound sort of white collar, a technician, something like that. But they are supporting this massive research. And just in the cotton industry alone, we're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of really good, decent paying middle-class jobs for people who I think many of us think are left behind by innovation in America. One of the secrets to America's incredible competitiveness in the cotton industry is those fibers that every cotton plant has. In America, unlike any other cotton producer, we carefully study the nature of those fibers. There's people who study how long the average staple length is for a given plant, how thick the cellular walls are of the fiber tubing. And the reason they do that is because when cotton is spun into yarn, we call this thread, but the industry calls it yarn, these amazing machinery, the amazing machinery that American producers, Parkdale and Frontier have. I've been to these rooms. They're just incredible. These cotton spinning machines that take in just millions and millions of pounds of raw cotton and turn it into this spun fiber so fast. It just churns out miles and miles and miles every hour. And lasers are constantly monitoring the thread so that if there's any breakage, any irregularity, these robotic arms come in, fix the thread, and allow it to continue producing. And because they know all the characteristics, all the physical characteristics of the fiber, they're able to run these things at such peak efficiency that I always find people don't actually believe me, and I've looked into it. It is really true that we export cotton thread to China many of the clothes that are made in China are made with cotton thread produced here because our machines are so advanced, so fast, that they can produce it cheaper than the big Chinese mills filled with thousands and thousands of workers. And that's sort of the story here, that a cotton farm in America, you have one farmer farming what it takes 800 farmers in China or India or Kazakhstan to do. So, and that's a way to understand what we learned about smart jobs, that the trade-off is something like that. That yes, we've lost an awful lot of jobs in the entire cotton, textile, apparel industry, but the jobs that remain are much higher paying, much more comfortable, much more satisfying jobs. So a spinning mill, it employs those people walking around, making sure the machinery works, staying out of the way. We still make an awful lot of textiles, and that's because it doesn't take many people. There's a joke in the South that every textile mill employs a man and a dog. The man's there to feed the dog, and the dog's there to keep the man away from the machine.